through a quick video on how to add a client for you guys, just so you guys could see how that kind of functioned and could get you guys moving through some things quicker without having to wait on us. So to add a client, it's real simple. You log in, you click clients, then up here at the top, you'll see the green add a client button. You just give them a name. We're going to add Mickey Mouse today because that seems easy enough. I don't actually know when he was born, so I'm going to use my birthday. Pick an office for them to go to, pick which services they're going to receive from your organization. Go ahead and hit next. I'm going to give them an existing guardian just for the sake of time. And then the team will select a supervisor. We can select me. You can give a team if you want to, but no big deal. Add, and then you will see Mickey Mouse pop up there on the top. You're not quite done yet, but he is in there. And you can go ahead and click his profile, and you can go ahead and see his dashboard that you'll see all the data, the files, session note buttons come alive for you in here in his profile. And then from here, you're going to want to go ahead and continue on with completing their profile, coming in here in the profile, adding any of these required things. So, an address, a city. I don't know where Mickey Mouse lives, so we're just going to pick Los Angeles, California. I don't know the zip code either. No big deal. You'll see the Guardian was already populated. If you need to add any additional contacts, pick up contacts, things like that you want to have in there, you can go ahead and add those here via the Add New button. You can add any diagnosis. So for most of us, we're going to have autism. Mickey probably doesn't, but that's okay. You can see the supervisor that I added. If you didn't add one, you can also just add it here, or if you need to change it, you can change it here as well. If you need a referring provider on your claim, you can add that here. You can add the new one. If you hit the Add New button, it'll just pull up first name, last name, and NPI is what you need there. That's mostly there for if you need to send that with a claim. Then you're going to set up the insurance. So we're going to use the demo payer so we don't do anything weird. It's a Medicaid. Mickey is self-insured, and then we'll just have to insert that member ID. So, whatever that number is, go ahead and add that. So that's pretty much going to complete out their profile for you so that you can have everything saved. You can get the green little confirmation down there at the bottom. We'll go back to Mickey's page. Another thing that you can do to set yourself up for success, if you already have an authorization, you can click this. You can see their active authorizations down here. If you hit this View All button, it'll take you into Mickey's authorizations, and we can add one. So adding an authorization is pretty straightforward. We just click the Add Authorization button. It should populate most of his information. Well, I guess it's just his name here. You can give it a title if you want to. So I know a lot of people use, like things like that. If you get a reference number from that funding source, you can use it. If not, no big deal, not required. You'll select the service level. You'll select the diagnosis again here, and then you'll select your dates. So I'm just going to put in a year-long, oops, doesn't like it when I do that, a year-long authorization, and it's not going to let me do it because it gets stuck on that. What? There. Okay. I don't know what the deal with that was, but we're moving on. So we've got the dates. You can add any notes you want to. These are internal use only. If you want to add these, you can add them here. If you want, a reminder put in there for every time you call, who you spoke to, reference numbers for phone calls, things like that can go in here if you want to, but no big deal. And then you're just going to add all of your service codes. So if it's an ABA kid, you're probably going to get 97151. Oops. You're going to get 97152. You'll get 97153. And it's sorting them in a weird order. And you'll probably get a parent training. And then you're going to pick, however they're authorizing those service codes to you. One difference that I'll just add another service line. If you get a bulk authorization from a funding source, so if your 97153, 97155, et cetera, are included in the same service line, you can just select multiples for that service line and they'll pull from that pool. So however, if it's just a semi-annual auth and you got 3,000 units, you can put that in there just like that. But more appropriately, you usually get 32, whatever is acceptable for you, or whatever, not acceptable, whatever your funding source does, you're going to just keep filling these things in. Be kind of careful on this right-hand side over here that you're putting in units and not hours that you requested. So if it's all of these are 15-minute unit codes, so you'll want to do 32 units for 8 hours, or 40 hours is 160 units. Just make sure that you're getting all those in, and you're putting them in as they're authorized, however they're getting authorized. So that's how we're going to do that. I'm going to get one more in here for Mickey. I'm going to delete that one because we don't need it. I'll just hit create, and now Mickey has an active authorization. I have to refresh the page. And there you can see it right there. And now Mickey has all of the things necessary to create an appointment. So in terms of creating an appointment, we'll go ahead and do that too, just so you guys can see it. So you could do that either from the calendar or schedule page, or Mickey's profile too. You can just hit calendar view here, and it'll take you to Mickey's calendar, where we can select a new appointment. We'll just, since we probably haven't had an eval yet, we'll do that. We'll do it in the office. Oops. We'll select Mickey Mouse. You can add a description if you would like, no big deal. That can be anything that you want to go on there. It'll automatically populate. If you've only selected one discipline, it'll automatically populate that here. If you had multiples, you would need to select it. That'll pull the correct the correct authorization, and that'll pull forward those correct assessment codes. If you selected therapy on the previous screen, you would see more codes. You would see the 5.3 and the 5.5 and the 5.6 on those. You can add any modifiers that are required here. So we're going to do this remotely, since I'm in Kansas and he's in Los Angeles. You can set a recurrence here if you would like. I'm not going to, but we're going to have an appointment today from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. with me. And then if you wanted to add some other attendees, that'd be fine. It would throw it on their calendar so they could help you with documentation. And then here's just a quick authorizations check for dates and units. You can see that we didn't schedule outside of that. The next screen gives you a quick overview of what you did. So we have an evaluation from 1 to 2 in the office with Mickey Mouse. Here's his authorization. Here's the billing code we're using, and there's the modifier, and I'm going to do it. So we hit schedule, and it should show up right there on the calendar. So that is pretty much from onboarding through scheduling an event for a new client. The only other thing that you're going to want to do is go ahead and set up your forms. So in terms of getting a form set up, you are going to want to come back into the settings over here and then hit forms. And so in the demo environment, we've got quite a few forms in here already. So I'm just going to kind of show you through them. But there are 3 different types, and here they are. So you're going to give it a name, whatever you want to name it. So if a session note is a session, you just want to call it a session note. That's cool. You'll pick session notes. But you can see the 2 here. It's basic. Plan of care is tied to the evaluation codes. So whether that be 97151 for ABA, or if speech and OT have some different evaluation codes, it'll be tied to those specifically for you already. Session notes you can attach to pretty much any service you want to. And basic notes you can be attached to things. For if you want to on that. You can do the layout, etc. Not necessarily what's going to be filled out during the session, but the content of the note that you're going to require your staff to use. So if you don't want anybody to do that, don't click anybody. And then you're going to assign it to a code. So we're going to select 97153. Whoops, that's a 0. We'll select that, and it won't put it in there twice for some reason. We'll go head on over to layout, and here's all the different kind of buttons and boxes and things that you can have. So the AI summary, you can have that in there once. That's how you're going to generate that narrative portion at the end. The write text is just a box where if you wanted some big verbose kind of predefined narrative on your note, you could do that here. Expandable is just what it says it is. It's an expandable area. You could hide some text in here for your staff to be able to read if you wanted to. The divider is just what it says it is, a divider. A text field is a smaller box. I believe this one is character limited. A text area field is a bigger box, is not character limited. Check boxes are just what they say they are. They're check boxes. If you want more, you can have more. You can have as many as you want. And then radio buttons are pretty much an either or. Again, you can have multiples. You're only going to be able to select one for the radio buttons. For check boxes, you can select, multiples. Just trying to demonstrate that, and my computer's not cooperating, but it's trying to let me move it around the screen. If you want to adjust, where these are in the layout, you can move them up and down this way. You can move them up and down with the arrows here. And you can also open up all of them will have their own kind of set of options over here. If you want to make things required, that's certainly possible. We can do that. We can enable autofill if you want to, if you have some things that you want in there. You can edit the title, so whatever you want it to be, David's button. There you go. It just changes it in your note. And then once you have your note kind of structured the way you want it to, obviously this is not a good structure of a note. I just wanted to show you all of the things that happened. This is what it's going to look like. So you're going to have, you can throw your, all of this is pre-populated onto your note so that it's here for you. This meets TRICARE's note requirement for an audit. It will be automatically here for you so that you don't have to put it on the note. TRICARE's note is the most stringent one we've seen, so we just throw all this information on there to make sure that we're meeting it for everybody. And then you can see all the buttons work over here. We can type in the boxes, check boxes, etc. So from the summary note down here to the check boxes, those are the things that I put in there that I showed you. And then below that, depending on whether it's a plan of care note or a plan of care, just for those of you that don't call it that, is an evaluation template. So behavior intervention plan style is the intended kind of note to be done for that. And then so depending on the type of note that you're writing, you'll have some pre-populated stuff down here at the bottom. This is what it will look like for a plan of care note. A session note will have all of the little boxes of the individualized goals that have been run during that session for you guys populated right there. So we'll also timestamp, date, and sign for you. We just sign one time, and then we apply that signature to all those things for you. So that's kind of the front to back on how to get started, from onboarding a client, getting them in the system, getting an authorization in, getting their insurance and their profile completed, getting an appointment scheduled, all the way, and then also kind of a quick note walkthrough. Those I think I didn't mention. Other than the AI summary button, you can have as many of these in your note as you want to. You can repeat them. You can have them. I think I clicked it. Yeah, there you go. I clicked it a bunch of times. You're not character limited or box limited in here at all. You can have as many as you want. So that should be enough to get you through the onboarding through a session with a kiddo. The only thing you're going to do when you get to that appointment time is you're going to click either your calendar or your schedule, however you want to get to your appointment. You're going to click your appointment, and then you can get some details here. And then to get into the appointment, when you're ready to start running and collecting data, you'll click the enter button, and it'll take you, this takes you to a note. So this isn't a very good example. So let's schedule another appointment that's a therapy event to show you that as well. There you can see that difference that I was talking about earlier. The selection on the previous screen gives me different codes. We're also going to do this one remote. It is almost noon here, so we'll do 11:30. 11, but it doesn't matter. With me, next schedule. To get into that session, there you go. It'll bring you actually into the session. There's nothing in here. In terms of adding programs to a kiddo's program book, it's pretty straightforward. You'll just hit program book over here, you'll hit Mickey Mouse, and you'll hit Add New Goal, and then you can pull from your template, or you can write your own novel goal that we can walk through in a different video. That's kind of a little more. There's a little more to this, but that's how you get a new client goal added in there. But once you get those goals, and I'm just going to add one. Once you get some of those goals in there, you'll see them populate here, and you'll also see them populate the widget within the session. So you can see it there, and you can start taking the data. Well, there you go. That's about a 20-minute video. Well, I guess 17 minutes is about where we're at now. So just wanted to kind of get that out there so you guys could have that for reference. If you guys need or have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email, or if you are not a current client and you're just watching, feel free to jump on my calendar and request a demo, and we'll get going for you. Thanks for watching.